African Canadian Boys, ACV. Happy New Year. We're pretty sure that they had an excellent holiday period, celebrating with friends and family members, and we're excited also to start the year 2020 with new enthusiasm and energy to cover the diverse areas of African Canadian culture. But it seems also it's very important for us to go back and look what we have covered, although it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of the culture and the diversity, richness we have in Africa. It seems it's very appropriate that we need to go back and review some of the cultural aspects we covered in the year 2019. For example, as you know, the Black History Month is on the corner, and we covered the Black History Month in its entirety, performance, music, food, and everything. And let's go back and check that out.
My name is Carl Loko. I'm from Ghana. I'm from Accra, and I am a Ghana boy. I speak Ghana. So I'm from West Africa. I'm holding a shirt that is made of what we call kente material. This is a fabric, but the actual real McCoy is hand woven, and it originates from a place in the Ashanti Kingdom called Bonyre.
My name is Lana Tucker, and I am a librarian at the London Public Library, and we're having a family celebration at the library today to celebrate Black History Month, and that's just a way to bring awareness of the Black History Month celebration to the residents and the community of London.
So on behalf of the London Black History Recording Committee, on behalf of the citizens of London and residents, and on behalf of this gathering, I'd like to thank Mercy. Mercy?
Thank you so much. I know probably somebody is wondering why isn't HIV and AIDS tied to the Black History Month and comedy. But unfortunately, where I come from, it's royal. And when I came here, I realized that it was the same issue. We're so impacted by the social determinants of health in a similar way. I can go on and on and on. Thank you so much. I'm so humbled to be nominated. I really appreciated that. And in my language, I say Nyawonga. And there's a saying that if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, move together with the community. So as a community, we can impact more change in a bigger way. Also, in my language, we say, Umuntu, Umuntu ngabantu. So the literal translation that I can give that's pretty close is, I am because we are. Thank you so much. Nyabonga.
This is our third annual African Food Festival, which is part of London Black History Month events. It's really an opportunity for people who've not ever had African food to have a variety of food from different parts of Africa, West and East Africa.
We are from secondary school Monseigneur Bruyère, and we are celebrating African Food Festival. So we had Congolese food, Burundi's food, I think, and other African food too. So it means a lot for us because we can remember our roots and we had a lot of joy.
African food, we covered some aspects of African cuisine. We went to the different kitchens and we went there and we saw how the owners were preparing the food, the meaning around the different kinds of food ingredients. For example, how do you cook injera and what's the reason behind it? And then the family and the social cohesion that builds around sharing injera. And injera being shared by a family instead of a unity you have to eat by yourself, although you can do that. And that gives the cultural window how food plays in terms of putting people together around a platter of injera and some tips from Ethiopia, and that creates a cohesion, because if you eat together you don't fight. If you eat together, you solve your problems. If you have coffee together, you discuss about issues. So the role of the different kinds of foods has, in terms of putting the society together, is deep, and not only basically to get the energy and the food you need. For example, the kola nut in Nigeria, how it creates a social cohesion, and the meaning of that and the respect it builds around community members, and the universality of those ideas were very important and quite educating, because as you know, Africa is so diverse, and Africans also even don't know the depths and the diversity of their own culture. There's so much education in there. Welcome to our show, ACV, African Canadian Voice. Today we are going to Inat Restaurant. Inat Restaurant is an Ethiopian restaurant that started in 1996, and we're going to discover what they have to offer in terms of the Ethiopian cuisine. Let's come in.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you for coming.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you
How are you
too.
doing?
Thank you. Injera is our traditional bread. It's like fluffy, like a pancake.
Mm-hmm.
We made it with teff flour and barley. Actually, back home we only make it with teff. Here it's hard to get it, so we're gonna mix it with barley. Teff is rich in iron and fiber. The dough is natural fermentation, just water and flour. We mix it with water, the flour, and leave it one night. After that, we're gonna make it mix like a bubble.
Welcome to African Canadian Voice. On last episode, we were in East Africa, specifically Ethiopian restaurant. Now we're coming to West Africa, specifically by the name Vas Restaurant, and let's go in and find out what they have to offer. This is Vas Restaurant, catering to African Canadians and all African people, and we're going to go in and see what they have to offer. I see a lot of food in here, and could you explain?
Oh, this is African food. We have fried rice.
Yeah.
Fried rice is vegetable based, green peas, corn, and carrots. It's mixed with rice and some spices, and it's very delicious. It's an African diet, which is delicious and very healthy too.
What kind of spice do you put in there? Today we're going to showcase Nigerian Association of London and the area. As you know, Nigeria is a very big, diverse in culture, in food and everything, but they're going to show us the representative of their food and their culture. So let's watch out together. Now Miriam is going to show us how to cook masa, and let's see how she's going to make it. Miriam, can you tell us how you cook masa?
Hello, my name is Mariam Wright. I'm here to show you Nigerian cooking and how it's done, and to tell you a little bit about the northern Nigerian culture.
My name is Adeyemi Taiwo. I moved to Canada from Nigeria in 2009, December precisely. Then, we are living in Caledon, in Brampton, and we now look at, when we go to other African stores, we buy different things, and we see, because we believe ourselves that we eat organic food, and I have children, and we are not able to cope with the Canadian product. Then we go to African store and buy some stuff. And at the end of the day, I just decided, I said, wow, I want to move. I need a change of environment. And my wife said, okay, let's look for somewhere better. And we look onto London. First of all, we think London is not a big community. And we start coming every week to look for a house. And we said, oh, if we have a house here, there's other thing we can do in London here. And she said, okay, there's only one African grocery store in London. Why don't we try to bring something back to London again? And we said, okay, first of all, let's look at the population. And at the end, we think that we have enough people living, black community living in London here. And we said, okay, let's have a store. Music, poetry, performance, and drumming. In all this, what we learned is the excitement that music builds in terms of putting the society together, bringing people together, dancing together, and that creates the social cohesion. Certain dances are so many flows, and the choreography is so smooth, and it tells stories about queens and kings. Some other dances are jumping high, indirectly talking about fitness and being together, dancing and jumping hand in hand together, and showing that the social unity is there. In other performance also, we learned that the drumming is a very good signal transferring mechanism. It started as a way of communicating. In a way, it's so amazing to learn that drums used to be the communication tool, and you can tell using drums a whole story, and you can make statements pro or against something using drums without opening your mouth. When you are lost in the forest, you can use drums to find your way using your ears, and how drums are very central in terms of your way of life. And drums also were made in different ways, presented in different ways for different purposes, from the making of them into the tuning and sounds. And drums being the base of the music, they have a central role in terms of African music, and having its heritage from the Fez community, it finds its way into the mainstream African music. We learned this. So much can be discussed and said about drums, but we touched that, and it was quite eye-opening and very informative to learn that.
So yeah, I'm an 18-year-old Nigerian-Canadian poet, and I kind of started a little bit young. I started writing poetry when I was in 2nd grade. I'd just recently moved to Canada from Nigeria, and my parents would show me a bunch of poetry about Africa. And although I didn't really remember a lot from my time in Nigeria, I did feel a strong connection to poems about my ancestors and poems about the black people in Africa. So when I'd read these poetries, I'd kind of feel a sense of belonging.
And today we're coming to you with a new show from Ugandan Dimension, and today we're talking to Dr. Immaculate Namukasa. Dr. Immaculate Namukasa is a professor at the University of Western Ontario School of Education, and today she's going to give us a very good window to the Ugandan culture, and with her is Miss Immaculate Sekalo. Welcome to our show. Both of you, we're very happy to have you on our show, and we're really impressed by the outfit you have wearing today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Tess, and thank you for this opportunity to tell you about myself and my mom, Mrs. Sekalo, and especially about the African culture, being in close touch with other families, but also knowing that these families belong to other communities, communities of that they connect with at their work, professional communities, being part of their neighborhoods, communities that they connect to through the schools of their children, which are different. Kids don't go to the same kids, but still touching base once in a while. That's how we keep our kids knowing part of their identities. The kids want to like to say that they're half Ugandan, because they believe their Canadian identity is much broader than the Ugandan, but we still want them to know that there's that part of their...
Welcome to African Canadian Voice. Today we are going to show you an episode in relation to the Ethiopian Association. The Ethiopian Association has a yearly camp that does during the summer, and today we're going to go around and show you what they have to do in order to keep their community together and show their culture to the younger generations and keep their network together. Welcome to African Canadian Voice. Today we are going to be covering on this episode African Canadian event which was scheduled for today, Soccer and Bazaar Day. This event includes a soccer match of different teams and different African food and cuisine that cover different tastes and variety of African food. The African culture at the tip of the iceberg. As I always mention, African culture is so diverse, deep, and it has depths and breadths, and we need to go deep and find it. And from now on the year 2020, we are so enthusiastic and willing to go forward in terms of finding the depths and the breeders of African culture. We only touch the tip of the iceberg. So anybody who knows African heritage, culture, music, performance, art, come forward and tell us. This is your show. This is African Canadian Voice. This is your voice. This is a way of telling who we are to the world.
So my name is Celeste. We are part of a group called Rema. It's like a culture. We're from Burundi. So it's like the traditional dance back from Burundi. So mainly what we do in the dance is like show being elegant, show the culture.
The movement, it has to be with grace to show like what like queens and Burundian queens used to be dancing.
I mean, you showed a very excellent cultural dance, which is Jang, I guess, if I pronounce it correctly. Could you tell me more about it and the background, the history, when it danced it, and things like that?
Yeah, Jiang is the majority tribe of South Sudan. It's a big tribe. So it divided into many groups of Jiang. So a specific dance of tonight is called Jiang Bor, which Jiang Bor, B-O-R, which is the section of Jiang. So every Jiang, they have their own dancing.
We're going to continue on the unique aspect of Nigerian culture, and these gentlemen are going to tell us about the kola nut. Could you tell me a little bit more about the kola nut?
We are the people of the Igbos from the eastern part of Nigeria. These are my people. And in Igbo land, we have different unique cultures, and one of them that is most significant is the kola nut. Kola nut in Igbo land is a symbol of unity. And kola nut, as far as the Igbos are concerned, is like a center point where religion and tradition meet, because the Christian religion brought to us promotes peace, love, and harmony. Same thing as kola nut.
And don't forget, follow us.